Hi and welcome to another Watch Geek video. Today I'll be doing a review of a Casio DW-290, better known as the Mission Impossible watch, as it was worn by Tom Cruise in the first Mission Impossible movie from 1996. But first, I would like to thank Silvertime Watch Store for supplying this watch, and if you want to check them out, you can click on the link in the description. This watch is not a G-Shock, despite taking a lot of design cues from a G-Shock, from the vented strap to the bulky case and recessed crystal. Even the colors used. If we compare it to my DW-5000, you will see the design was heavily inspired by it, with the red line across the screen and white and gold colored lettering. It is also considered the toughest regular Casio you can get. And since it has 200 meters of water resistance, I really do believe this watch is as tough as a G-Shock. When I did my series of torture test videos, where I was trying to determine whether a regular Casio is as tough as a G-Shock, I was surprised at what a normal, cheap Casio was able to handle. In fact, it survived all the tests and failed only at the boiling test, which was due to it having only splash resistance. Since this, like I said, has 200 meters of water resistance, I'm confident it would pass even that. So to anyone looking for an even cheaper alternative to a G-Shock, this is a great watch. Simple, tough, and will outlast all fashion watches out there. Size-wise, it's slightly larger than the 5600 square because of this hexagon shape with the sides sticking out. However, it still fits smaller wrists well, as it's pretty short lug to lug, and the strap doesn't have a fixed position like G-Shock ones have, meaning it can freely pivot on the spring bars. Some have called this watch ugly, but I find it very attractive as there is something charming about its design, making it look like it came out of an early 90s sci-fi movie. The fact I grew up watching my friends wear this model brings a nostalgic feeling when I see one, making it even more desirable, well, for me at least. When it comes to functions, the module in this is basically the same one used in regular squares. So it comes with an automatic calendar, an alarm, a 24-hour stopwatch, and a 24-hour countdown timer with auto repeat. The only difference is the screen layout. So instead of having symbols for the alarm and hourly chime, these are written, and then you get these little arrows that indicate what is turned on or off. This type of indication was heavily used on many retro digital watches from the 80s, usually to indicate day of the week. To me, this is yet another thing that adds to the charm. The buttons are not recessed and are larger compared to this, which makes pressing them easier. Even the adjust button is easier to press than on my 5000. The backlight used is a proper EL backlight, and this is another thing that makes this closer to G-Shocks than regular Casios, as regular Casios, including one from my torture test videos, use incandescent bulbs that give these hotspots on the screen, while on this, everything is evenly lit, making it better than even the newest G-Shocks that use LEDs. In my opinion, this watch is destined to become a cult classic. Not just because of the Mission Impossible connection, but because it feels like an engineer working on regular Casios wanted to show an engineer working on G-Shocks that he can make a watch just as tough, but cheaper. And I have to admit, he made it. The only weakness of this compared to a G-Shock, other than a plastic buckle, is that on G-Shocks you can replace the outer protective shell and have a new looking watch, while on this, the outer shell is the case itself. So any scratches and dings you put on this watch are there to stay and remind you of how and when they happened, which again, some will find charming. Well, this completes this week's video, so thank you for watching. I hope you liked it and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe by pressing this button right here, and until the next video, bye.